The infamous Lightblade Grandmaster Nightfall is back. And though this GM caused teams problems last time around, this guide will help you get through this Nightfall as quickly and easily as possible. This video will not only showcase optimal boss room strategies, it will provide positioning tips, spawn control tactics, and tricks that will make the rest of this GM significantly easier. I'm Above, and if you enjoyed today's video, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into it. Starting with my recommended team comp, we used one Invis Hunter with Graviton Forfeit, one Thunder Crash Titan with Curus of the Falling Star, and one Shadebinder Warlock with Aeon Souls. The Hunter is used to skip dangerous choke points in this Nightfall, and safely finish Hive Guardians when it would be risky otherwise. The Hunter will also be the key to controlling Ala Cool's Savage AI in the boss room. You can swap Graviton Forfeit for something like Omnioculus for its damage resist, or you can run another pair of Aeons for more consistent heavy spawns for your entire fire team. The Thunder Crash Titan is crucial for insta-killing champions and Hive Guardians throughout this Grandmaster. Though Heart of Inmost Light is good, the more aggressive we can play against these high-profile enemies, the easier this GM becomes, and I think Curus does it better in this Grandmaster overall. Our Shadebinder Warlock is all about control. They help slow down the boss fight and will keep our team topped off on heavy ammo throughout this Grandmaster. As for weapon loadouts, you'll need to come equipped for both solar and arc shields, and cover barrier and unstoppable champions. We used two arbalists to cover the barriers and paired them with two unstoppable pulse rifles, one solar and one arc. In the heavy slot, we used one hothead to take advantage of the arc singe, while our hunter utilized an arc linear fusion rifle. They'll be doing damage as they bait Ala Cool in the boss room, and linears do a better job in this role due to the close range nature of the boss fight and their ammo economy. The third and final loadout consists of Gallahorn to provide Wolfpack rounds to our hothead user, a blinding grenade to suppress enemies, and an anti-barrier scout rifle in the kinetic slot. These loadouts provide ad clear, burst damage on high-profile enemies, and ad control when we need it. Key armor mods include thermoshock plating and concussive dampener, and you want to get as close to 100 resilience as possible. Ala Cool's splash damage kills you incredibly quickly due to the Nightfall's arc singe, but these resists can be the difference between clutching a run and heading back to orbit. You want to make sure that your Warlock is utilizing Sect of Insight on their Aeon gauntlets to produce heavy ammo when performing finishers. Diving right into the Nightfall, as you approach the opening area, focus on Ala Cool as a team near the entrance of the temple. When you do enough damage, the boss will be health gated, causing him to leave, which opens the door to the next encounter. A quick little tip is that you can skip every single enemy in this area, including both barrier champions, and you'll still get platinum rewards. Simply invis past the enemies, make your way up the stairs, and despawn the ads for your teammates. This saves you so much time at the start of this GM and makes it incredibly easy. The next encounter can be one of the hardest of this entire Grandmaster if not handled properly. This room is all about pacing and enemy priority. There will be 3 Hive Guardians that spawn during this encounter, and the key here is to leave enough red bars alive to prevent overlapping ad spawns. If you kill ads too quickly, you'll have multiple Hive Guardians alive at the same time, which can cause you to get overrun and send you back to orbit. So let's break it down. As you enter, use Galley to take out the 2 solar wizards in front of you, then head to the left stairs and team shot the first barrier champion. Once dead, head back up to the high ground near the entrance of the room and nuke the Hive Guardian in the middle of the arena. Once dead, have your hunter go invisible to finish the ghost. As long as they have Echo of Obscurity equipped, they'll go invisible when performing the finisher, giving them a safe exit back to your fire team. Take out the second barrier and leave the last few red bars alive in the process. This will allow your team to set up before spawning the second Hive Guardian. We like to back up in this hallway from which we entered and have our rockets at the ready. Our hunter will be in position to kill the final red bars, and as they die, have your hunter throw a weaken grenade on the Hive Guardian and then use their invisibility, while your teammates spawn kill the Hive Guardian with their rockets. The hunter will be in perfect position to get a finisher on the ghost and start clearing ads. Clear the room, spawn kill the third Hive Guardian, and we're moving on. As you approach the barge, there will be 2 barrier champions, one on each platform. I like to start with the left barrier and use these stairs for cover to get it low. I recommend finishing both barrier champions to fully restock on heavy ammo. Hop on the ship, kill the adds on the platforms, then spawn kill the Shrieker. Once dead, look for the 2 fountains on your right and left hand side. Have one person stay on the ship while your 2 teammates jump to each fountain. This allows them to scale this ledge up to where each of the orbs spawn and skip the Hive Guardians entirely. While this is happening, your teammate on the ship will kill the enemies guarding each deposit. It's worth noting that if you're low on res tokens, you can just do this encounter normally and kill each Hive Guardian, as each one grants 2 revives. Once you've dunked both orbs, the door will open and the barge will start moving forward once again. Use Galahorn to kill the wizard on the bridge in front of you, then hop off the ship and clear adds. This area contains both wizards and shriekers, so taking the slow and methodical approach to ad clear is much safer than staying on the ship for most teams. The barge will continue forward and spawn a portal on the last bridge. When you reach it, take the portal and it will teleport you back to the barge. Most teams tend to stay on the ship here, but I don't recommend this because you have limited mobility and can lose revives to Thrall rushing you. So instead, hop up on this platform and sit next to the Thrall's spawn door. As long as you're not blocking it, the Thrall will always jump to the ship, making them easy pickings. Once clear, hop back on the barge and will arrive at the swamp. As you jump down, a group of Screebs will rush towards you, but instead of killing them, you want to blind and freeze them. If kept alive, no other Screebs will spawn throughout the entire swamp encounter. As you freeze and blind these adds, you'll gain safe distance, meaning you can run through this area much faster. The only thing you need to worry about when pushing forward are the lucent moths near the lanterns and the occasional raider spawn. When you reach the end of the swamp, we'll arrive at a cave defended by an unstoppable champion. Stun the champ, clear the surrounding adds, and get the unstop low so your Aeon user can go and finish it. Take your time clearing the snipers and lucent moths on the ridge in front of you, as both are extremely lethal. Once dead, clear the rest of the cave and we'll arrive at this cliffside. We're going to use this high ground for cover because there is a lot going on below us. Start by stunning the unstoppable Scorn Abomination. If you don't get damage on this champion before the unstoppable ogres kill it, you won't get credit for it and it can cost you platinum rewards. So make this your first priority. Once you've stunned the champ, focus on Ala Cool and damage him until he health gates and leaves the encounter. With that said, be wary of Screebs that can jump up on the cliffside in front of you. They typically just jump back down, but they can explode on occasion, so it's worth noting regardless. Next, we're gonna focus on these Shriekers, followed by the normal yellow bar ogre, and then the rest of the adds. You want to leave the 2 unstops alive so you can get finishers to restock on heavy ammo before the boss fight. As you drop down, the boss fight begins. This used to be the hardest part of this Grandmaster, but if you follow our strategy, it will become one of the easiest. Ala Cool will spawn in the center of the arena, and we want our hunter to grab aggro as quickly as possible. To do this, simply stand on the platform directly across from him. This makes his AI prioritize jumping over to you instead of firing his ranged attack. As the boss jumps over, wait until he's about to land, then jump to the center platform. By timing your jumps this way, the boss will follow you instead of running around like a madman. Your teammates should position themselves on the opposite side of the arena to avoid drawing aggro and help the hunter clear the initial wave of Thrall that spawns in. This method actually makes the boss fight, dare I say, easy. As you can see, linears are perfect for doing passive damage to the boss. As you bait him back and forth, you can hip fire at close range with extremely high accuracy. A second wave of Thrall will spawn in when the boss reaches 80% health. Your teammates should be able to clean them up rather easily, but if any jump up to the hunter while baiting, simply throw a nade at your feet and it should kill them. Continue damaging the boss until we reach our first health gate at 65% HP. When this happens, a Hive Guardian and 2 shielded Arc Knights will spawn in. Insta-kill the Hive Guardian, but leave the 2 2 Arc-Knights alive. Tether works great here because it suppresses the Hive Guardian, which makes for an easy kill. Just remember to finish the ghost. Your teammates can kill one of the knights, but we want to keep the other alive, kind of like a crawler in COD Zombies, which is where blinding grenades come in handy. As the knight is blinded, you can clear the cursed thrall on the bottom floor of the arena. And when you have your supers and abilities ready to go, we want to bait the knight to a very specific location, because when it dies, 2 barrier champions will spawn in, while the boss is actively running around. And yes, this can be as hectic as it sounds. Luckily, we have the perfect way to manage this. For the first set of champions at 65% HP, you want your hunter to position themselves on the platform directly across from the Oryx statue. Meanwhile, your teammates will bait the knight to the left of the Oryx statue and finish it in this location. The original map of this arena was brought to us by ATP, and we adapted our own version for this video. His links will be down in the description below. This positions your teammates directly across from the first barrier, which allows them to spawn kill it. If your team is positioned like this, it forces the barriers to spawn in these 2 locations every single time. Finish the knight, then spawn kill the first barrier while your hunter baits the boss's aggro. The hunter is a bit vulnerable here, which is why I like to throw a vortex nade as the second barrier spawns in. Your warlock can also throw a stasis turret to freeze it. Once the first barrier is dead, you can thunder crash the second barrier to insta-nuke it, and just like that, one of the hardest parts of this Grandmaster is now over. The hunter will continue baiting the boss throughout the fight, with the next major health gate being 50% HP. It is at this point that the second set of barrier champions will spawn in, except this time, there are no Hive Guardians or Arc Knights to kill. For this health gate, we want to position ourselves like this. The hunter will shift to the right platform while your teammates break line of sight on the left side of the boss arena. This will force the spawn of the 2 barriers to these locations shown on screen. As the boss nears 50% HP, get into position, then damage the boss until you see Alakul's helmet pop off. This is your indicator that the champions are spawning in. Like last time, your teammates will nuke the first barrier while your hunter vortex nades the second barrier, T-crash the second barrier, and eliminate these threats as quickly as possible. Our next health gate will be at 33% HP, where the final Hive Guardian and 2 Arc Knights will spawn in. This time, you can insta-kill these enemies, as the next set of barriers don't spawn until the boss reaches 25% HP. For this set of barriers, we want to position ourselves like we did during the first set of champions, with your hunter directly across from the Oryx statue and your teammates to the left of it. Just like the last 2 sets of champions, spawn kill the first barrier, T-crash the second barrier, then damage the boss until the Lightblade Grandmaster Nightfall is a GG. If you found this guide useful, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated, and you can catch me live on Twitch over at twitch.tv/above, where I'll be doing GM helps all season long. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!